Yo, what is going on, California Fishing Life fam? I hope you all have been doing well since the last time we saw, and as the title suggests, the long-awaited second installment of our series. These are 5 important things you must know before going tuna fishing, part 2. As always, if you are new here to the California Fishing Life family, hit that subscribe button, join the California Fishing Life family. If you want to see more videos like this, hit that like button, let the YouTube algorithm and let me know that you want to see more videos like this. If this video gets 200 likes, which I know it can very easily, we will be releasing part 3. Without further ado, enough of the YouTube stuff. Here we go. 5 important things you must know before you go tuna fishing, part 2. Number 1, the results today do not indicate success or failure tomorrow. Have you ever seen on social media, limits, cows are hanging, you better book now, you don't want to miss out on this tuna fishing action? Is that a great sales tactic? Absolutely. So there is a philosophy that states we never step in the same river twice. Similarly, we never truly go to the same fishing grounds twice. A location that produces limits of tuna today, we can come back tomorrow to the exact same fishing grounds or even later on that day and find it completely barren. So we never really go to the same fishing spot twice. And this happens way more often than you think. There are some boats that are very transparent about this, and those boats have my utmost respect because social media, you can portray your boat to be the top producing boat and have a bunch of people go on. But in terms of business, it's not a good practice because you're not being honest. So props to those boats that are very transparent. There are some boats out there that I see on their social media page. They're like, yo, bro, we got skunked today. There was nobody that caught anything. And that is the kind of transparency that customers really should know and understand, especially prior to going to tuna fishing. Like I said in my previous video, it's feast or famine, right? It's either chaotic and everybody's getting bit, or it's a long, quiet boat ride with a bunch of grunts and people are just mumbling and grumbling because the captain is just trying to find fish the entire time. Speaking of captains finding fish, point number 2, bring the right gear. You are about to go tuna fishing, not bass fishing. Leave your bass gear at home, especially now when the tunas are much bigger grade and they're getting even bigger as the days go on out there in the water. These fish are humongous and they are extremely strong. And if these fish are not respected, they will humble you very quickly. I have personally seen someone get completely spooled and their reel was ripped right out of the reel seat. Luckily, the braid came undone and the reel just fell onto the deck of the boat. That situation could have ended really poorly for that angler that day. No pun intended at all. But have the right gear ranging from 30 pounds to unlimited. Ideally, the 30-pound rig will be your finesse setup. So when the fish are finicky and they don't want to bite on heavier line, this is when you're going to use your 30-pound test gear. And this would be your go-to setup if the fish don't want to play with the thicker lines that day. Your next setup should range from 50 to 80 pounds. This setup is going to be very universal and versatile, and it'll be your main setup for most, if not the whole trip. Lastly, have a 100 plus pound setup for that straggling monster super cow bluefin that's out there. If you want me to go more in depth, let me know in the comments below and I'll definitely make more videos regarding the right gear. And this includes terminal tackle. And trust me, I learned this the extremely hard way. Terminal tackle, very important. Speaking of important, this brings up point number 3. Build up your cardiovascular endurance. Always, before you start any workout program, consult your doctor first. Make sure you're in great physical shape or good enough physical shape to do any kind of physical activity. and build up your cardiovascular endurance. Tuna fishing aside, cardiovascular training is very good for the heart and body, but this is not the point. Tuna fishing is a game of inches, especially when we're dealing with cows or super cows. If you don't believe me, ask any seasoned angler and they will tell you, you gain an inch and the tuna will take a yard. And again, these points are because I have seen it in person, in real life. So I'm telling you this so you don't have to experience it yourself. But if you go unprepared, cardio-wise, you will regret the decision as soon as you hook up to that monster. And I know that there are some people out there that are like, well, I don't like doing cardio. HIIT or high intensity interval training is also good for building up cardiovascular endurance too. Just do some kind of exercise. It doesn't have to be crazy. Just go out there, do some kind of exercise before this trip, because tuna fishing is very taxing on the body. And if you don't believe me, when you hook up to one, you'll figure out why I'm saying this. So if you learned that the hard way, comment down below. I kind of want to hear the story. Anyway, on to the next point. Point number 4. I know this is going to sound really cliche, but hydrate. Hydration is key to staying strong and focused when you're out in the water. Many times, especially when the bite is on, things are super chaotic. People are running back and forth, over you, under you, to the left of you, to the right of you, and people are screaming, hooting, hollering. It is very, very simple to forget to drink water. And this is really important because when you're out in the water, especially when it's sunny, you sweat a lot, and you getting heat exhaustion or even worse, heat stroke is very easy. So don't mean to sound like a doctor or anything, but make sure you stay hydrated before, during, and after your trip, because you lose a lot of vitamins and electrolytes and things like that through sweat, especially when you're having a blast out there tuna fishing and stuff. So stay hydrated. You'll thank me later for it. If you have made it this far, I just want to say thank you for staying and watching this video. If you have not done so already, hit that like button and share this with a friend who is planning on going tuna fishing soon. If you are new here to the California Fishing Life channel, hit that subscribe button. We're going to be doing some pretty exciting things. I know that I haven't been posting every week consistently, but it's because we're working on something really cool, and I really want to share it with you all soon. And thanks for being here with us on this journey. It's been a blast. So without further ado, let's go to number 5. Last but certainly not least, leave your ego at the dock. As mentioned briefly in a previous video, check your ego before getting on the boat. Everyone wants to go fishing and have fun. If you know or you think you know more than the person next to you, help them out. Not only is it good to be a lifelong learner, but a teacher as well. The more you teach others, the more you will learn yourself. Quick story time, my first bluefin tuna trip. I was on a tuna trip and it was crazy. Literally, my tuna uncle and I still talk about this trip to this day. Bites left and right, people were hooting, hollering. Everything was awesome, going up and under people and over people. But there was this man on the boat who was such a jerk. When I had a fish hanging, so I had a fish on, completely bent over, and I was making my way down the rail, this man kept getting in my way and he would not move. And I kept telling him, hey, I need to get under you. And he looks at me and his body language says, oh, hell no, I'm not going to let you through, right? And the deckhand literally pries him away. And he gave me the dirtiest look, but I didn't realize because I was fishing. I didn't realize this until I have footage. Like I have footage of this. I mean, I don't want to show the guy because he doesn't deserve the recognition, but literally the entire time afterward, he just made like really stupid comments every time I would be next to him. he'd be like, oh yeah, you only landed one? Like, I already have my limits. Like, bro, I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? Like, we're just all here to have fun. But I just brushed it off, and I just told him, I was like, hey, you know, like, that's cool, but it's my first time. And that just added fuel to the fire. He looks at me and he goes, yeah, figures. And it was like that the entire trip. Like, throughout the trip, every time we ran into each other, he made a conscious effort to think of the stupidest thing to say to me possible. And it's like, bro, if you know anything about like fishing, right? It's like, dude, some days you just don't have luck. Like, that's what it is. Like, fishing literally boils down to luck. You can know everything, you can know all the techniques, you can do this, you can do that. But at the end of the day, if the fish doesn't decide to bite on your line, then, well, you're kind of SOL, right? We all have those days. And the thing is, this experience could have been so unfortunate if it was my first tuna trip. But believe it or not, he taught me something very valuable. And he taught me never to be that arrogant and bitter about life that you have to make it a competition, that you caught more fish than someone half your age, and then brag about it and constantly nag in their ear every time you see them, thinking that you're better than them. Like, these people are actually true losers in life, that the only glory that they have is like this sliver, this moment, right? And they relish in it, and everybody around them has to know that they're the top dog, that they caught the most fish, that whatever. And it is that kind of personality that really turns people off to the sport of fishing or tuna fishing, right? And I hear this all the time. Don't comment on it because, you know, I'm just an eavesdropper, a listener, right? But this is, I guess, my space to say so. Like, it's okay to be proud of the fish that you caught. It's okay to show it off. It's okay to like post it on social media and all that stuff. But the moment that you think that you're better than another person just because you caught that fish and the other person doesn't, well, then that's a problem with yourself that you have to, I guess, analyze and check, right? Especially if you're going to be going on more of these trips, you know, just know that you're not going to win every single time. And with that being said, be nice to people because you don't know what other people are going through. And that's just in life in general. That doesn't even have to like do with fishing. But especially with fishing, especially with tuna fishing, it's hard enough. Like, you don't have to add being a dumbass on top of that. You know what I mean? But anyway, I hope you all enjoyed that little story time and a quick recap of the 5 things you need to know before you go fishing, part 2. So, number 1, the results today do not determine the results tomorrow. Number 2, bring the right gear. Number 3, do cardio for the biggins. Number 4, hydrate. Number 5, leave your ego at the dock. I hope these 5 tips will help you out on your next tuna trip. Did I leave any important tips out? Leave a comment down below if I did. I hope you enjoyed watching this video as much as I did filming it. And until I see you all again, stay bent, stay humble.